Hey guys, you're watching the Movienetics, the show where we talk about everything films, movies, series, and pop culture. I'm Casper, joined today by my co-host, Brendon.
Hello, my name is Brendon and welcome to the Movienetics.
Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed the first episode, even though it was a bit long and a bit clunky. And I also hope you guys will continue supporting us because we love doing this. And so let's get started. So what are we talking about today, Brendon?
So today we're going to talk about the sequels, the movie sequels.
When we talk about sequels, movie sequels, what do you expect from a sequel?
Okay, what to expect in the sequels is first of all, we must know what is a sequel, right? So sequel in movies are the works of expanding of the story from the earlier works, from its predecessor. So we are talking about expansion of character development, stories, laws, world building, and so on. So the sequels is to help the audience to learn more about the lore of the story, learn more about the world building, learn more about the lore embedded into the world building, to keep the audience invested into the story, to keep the audience interested into the arts of the movie, and so much more.
Yeah.
So what we expect from the sequel movie is to have a good writing, a good character development, and the story also.
Yeah, for me it's split also. I agree with what you say, but sometimes in sequels we want exactly the same thing from what we like from the first movies.
Yes.
And just do it again, but different location, different adventure. Very good example is like the Fast and Furious series, where basically they just do the same thing over and over again. It's not for everyone.
Okay, for the first three movies they are trying to expand the story, and then to use the same formula, but in the end they found out that it doesn't work anymore, so they're trying the new one. The over the top action sequence like in Fast 5, but since
and people
the Fast
love
5
it.
Yes, and surprisingly the people love it. I love it. And then
you love it?
yes, the Fast 5.
Okay.
I did love it. So after the success of the Fast 5, then they spawned a lot more of the Fast and Furious.
Because if it's not broken, don't fix it, right?
Yes, and then they will do it until the audience get tired of it.
Fast and Furious is the one that we start to get tired already.
Yes.
But one series that I don't think we are tired yet is the Mission Impossible series.
Yes.
Those are good. Even though it's the same
formula.
Yeah, the same formula, but it's the same and different at the same time.
Yes.
Yeah. Why not we move to our main topic for today?
Yep.
We will pick 3 movies which are what we think are good sequels. So each of us pick 3 movies, and before we start, I just want to be clear that today's topic is focusing on direct sequels only. So no reboots, no re whatever. It's a direct. It's not a
direct sequel.
Prequel. Yeah, it's a direct sequel of what happens after the first movie or the second movie or whatever. So it's just a continuation. Okay, let me start first.
Yeah.
My first pick is Blade Runner 2049 or 2049.
Good choice.
Yeah, I love this movie very much. I really love it. For me, it's one of when we talk about sci-fi, it's one of my favorites. And I choose this movie also because Blade Runner 2049 is a sequel of the first Blade Runner. Yes. Which released in 1982. 2049 is released in 2017. So the gap is really long. Before 2049 was released, I did watch the first Blade Runner a few years ago, and I didn't really like it. I didn't get I don't feel the hype of the first movie at all.
Okay.
I know a lot of people love the first movie, but I love the second one more than the first one. This movie is directed by Denis Villeneuve. What we can expect is awesome visuals.
Yeah.
The movie looks so good. That's one of its winning points. It looks so good, and to me the story is very well done also. It's very focused on just these few characters. They don't really go so deep into the world also. It's very focused, even though it's a long movie, but some might like it, some might find it boring. But I quite enjoy the journey. It's one of Denis
Villeneuve.
Yeah, Denis Villeneuve's best work. Did you like that movie?
Okay. First of all, before the movie release, then they announced that they will do a second Blade Runner. I kind of like quite skeptical, because I think Blade Runner is a very, very hard to do a sequel movie, because the first one, the story is quite dense, it's quite thought-provoking, and then I kind of like how are they going to nail the tone of the first movie?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah.
The first movie was quite special. It looks,
yeah, it's quite special.
It has its own unique look.
Yes, it has it's a very unique art, I can say. And then if you notice that the first movie, there is no daytime and it's always raining. And then it fits the story very, very well.
It doesn't rain so much in the sequel, right?
yeah. But I'm quite amazed that the Denis Villeneuve really nailed the sequel, because of the character building, the story, and then the visual. Oh my god, it's just masterpiece.
Yeah, and
actually I do like it, but sometimes because I watch it a few times already, sometimes I watch it, I can't process it, because it's kind of like it's too long. Sometimes I feel like it's a bit boring. But sometimes when I watch it with the right mood, right, after a few watch, and then you can see, you can learn something more, something new in the movie. I think that's the best part of the Blade Runner sequel.
I think one of the reasons I chose this also is because this movie, it doesn't try to, even though it's a sequel, it doesn't focus on Harrison Ford's character. There are new main characters, but they are connected in a way, but they try to separate it, that this movie have its own story to tell, which I like. And at the same time, it reference back to it is connected back to the first movie also. But I understand not everyone get this movie.
Yeah.
I think compared to Dune 2049 is a bit more. It have a more niche audience.
Yes.
I think it's not designed for the wide audience to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me talk about my second pick. My second pick is Incredibles 2, released in 2018. So Incredibles 2 is quite a surprising release, because the first Incredibles was in 2004. And it was 14 years after the release of the first one. And a lot of people wanted to see a second one, but there was no news. And then suddenly, I think in 2018, suddenly it was announced that there is Incredibles 2. Even in the first movie, I thought it's a good movie, but I didn't really think it was my favorite Pixar movie until I watched the Incredibles 2. So the interesting thing about this movie is that it starts right away after the end of Incredibles 1. And this movie is actually very well done, visually also. The action is surprisingly good.
Yeah.
I think compared, it can be as good as the MCU movies.
Yeah. that one I agree.
Yeah, it's very unexpected for me. And Incredibles 2 is like a switch up, because in the first Incredibles, Mr. Incredible was like the main show, and the rest of his family was like took a step back.
Yeah,
But
it's
in
a
part
sidekick.
2,
It's like a sidekick. Yeah.
yeah, but in part 2, his wife is the main show now. Even the villain have a very big agenda with the wife, Elastic Girl. Yeah, it's a very solid sequel. When I think of sequels, I think this is one that is like, it's hard to separate. If you want to watch a story, you watch Incredibles 1 and 2 together. That's what I think.
Yeah. So the first time I watched the Incredibles 2 is I watched it in cinema. When I stepped into the cinema, I didn't expect anything from this movie, because usually Pixar doesn't do sequels.
Yes.
So I didn't expect much. But after I watched the movie, I was quite impressed, because the visual, the visual for sure is way better than the first one. And then the story, the character development, even with their kids also, wow, just amazing. The character is written very good. The most surprisingly part is the story is quite mature and dark. And then I was like, wow, it's just amazing. For a kids movie to be quite deep, I do enjoy a lot.
And this movie, I think, is like Marvel can learn a lot from Incredibles
Yes.
2. And because Incredibles is a group of superheroes that is a family, I think that Fantastic Four can learn a lot from this this movie.
Yes.
When I was watching Incredibles 2, throughout the whole movie, I was thinking like, wow, if Fantastic Four make their movies like this, that would be so good. But we get
Actually, if Fantastic Four movies they copy the Incredibles
yeah
2, I won't even mad, man.
yeah. There's a lot of similarity between these two groups. I think Incredibles 2 also, Incredibles as a whole also, they don't try to go over the top with Marvel movies. It's quite contained. It's quite interesting to watch. Yeah. Let's move on to my third pick. I am more excited with this choice.
Okay.
So my third choice is Jurassic World,
Okay.
released in 2015. I personally think Jurassic World is a good movie, but I don't think it's a great movie. But I choose this movie because I want to talk about how is it related to sequels, because Jurassic Park in the past, when Jurassic Park was released, it's totally new.
Yeah.
No one have seen anything like Jurassic Park.
Like this. Yes.
Yeah, dinosaurs they see in the big screen. A lot of people were quite surprised, very interested to see all these dinosaurs in the movies. But it has been so many years already, ever since that Jurassic Park times. And then we skip to 2015, where all these movies, the technology that people can do now is so crazy. Dinosaurs are not interesting anymore. So how do you make a movie, a sequel to Jurassic Park, that can still capture the audience interest? So I think this is where Jurassic World, it's a sequel that changes a bit of its genre. It's less of talking about the dinosaurs itself, and more to like making a dinosaur horror movie. Dinosaur horror action movie that people can watch. This formula maybe doesn't work with the hardcore fans. Maybe they feel that they want to watch something more deep and like thought-provoking or something theoretical that they can discuss about. But Jurassic World is not that. Jurassic World is action-packed. It has some horror. It has chase scenes. There's guns also. But I think this is a smart move. It's not the best Jurassic movie for me, but I feel that they chose correctly in terms of how they want to make this, how they want to expand their universe in the future. And with Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom also, the next movie after Jurassic World, it's even more, it's more like a thriller gory horror movie than Jurassic World.
It's much more action, right? Much more action.
Yeah, much more action, and it feels like you're watching Alien.
Oh, okay.
Where people, did you watch that movie?
No. the second one I didn't watch. I mean the Fallen Kingdom.
The direction that they went is totally different from how they did with Jurassic Park. So I find it interesting that this franchise changed directions. So for me, I do like the Jurassic World movies. It's just that I don't take it so seriously, so I can enjoy some action myself. What do you think of Jurassic World, the first one?
The Jurassic World, I kind of enjoyed it because I watched it in cinema also. After I watched Jurassic World, I kind of missed the first Jurassic Park. Because Jurassic Park, I think if not mistaken, the Jurassic Park 1 and 2 is directed by the Steven Spielberg. Steven Spielberg really know how to capture the scope of the whole dinosaur things. In Jurassic Park 1, the first time they show the dinosaur, it's quite mesmerizing and then it's quite amazing. Although the visual effects is kind of outdated right now, but he used a lot of practical effects also when doing the close up and etc. And it's quite amazing to see the practical effects. But in Jurassic World, I don't think they
don't do that.
They
try to do that in some scene, but
some scene
it
because
feels
in
different.
Some close up. It's kind of feel a little bit different. You can tell that okay, this is a visual effects, but still it's quite enjoyable. The Jurassic World is quite enjoyable for me.
I think if you watch Fallen Kingdom, you will miss it even more.
Maybe if I watch the Fallen Kingdom, I will like the Jurassic World even more. But still, the Chris, I think the best part in Jurassic World is the Chris Pratt. I think he really nailed the comedy side of the story.
Yeah, I think taking Chris Pratt as the lead role is quite good choice.
It's a smart move.
He's quite how do you say? People want to support him as a character.
Yeah, I think he's charismatic in the movie.
Yeah,
he's quite charismatic in the movie. Yeah.
For me, Jurassic World is a interesting sequel that is one of the few movies that went a different direction for future Jurassic movies. But for me, Fallen Kingdom is not that good of a sequel. There's a new Jurassic movie coming soon. Is it soon? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
So. I hope it will be good also. Yeah. So those are my three choices.
Okay.
I have honorable mentions, which is the Mission Impossible series. Actually, all of the Mission Impossibles are quite good, but I didn't choose them. Those are just my honorable mentions. Yeah. Okay, so my part is done. So how about yours?
My first favorite sequels movies is Terminator 2 Judgment Day. directed by James Cameron. So why I think this is a great sequel? Because if you watch the first Terminator, the first movie is quite a solid movie, and I kind of like it. It's great. And after 7 years, a sequel for Terminator 2, Terminator came out. After I watched it, I was like, oh my god, everything in the movie is just eye-pleasing, and then the story is smartly written. The characters are so well developed, okay, especially the Terminator, the Arnold Schwarzenegger characters.
Very unique.
I was quite amazed. Yeah, it's very unique, and then you can see his character trying to learn the value of life, learn the value of human being, and then that was amazing. And then the action, oh my god, the action was so well staged. The best action scene, I think, is in the third act. There's a helicopter chase, okay, at the highway. Oh, that was a masterpiece. And fun fact, if you watch the making of this movie, right, Terminator 2, you will be mind blown, I tell you, because if you watch the whole making of the movies, you can right away see that there are 80% of the movie are actually being practical effects.
Really?
Yes, no joke. I tell you, it's really spot on. Their visual style is really spot on. If you watch the making of the Terminator 2, it's all practical effects. There's merely using of the CGI also.
Did you watch the first Terminator, then you watch the second one?
Yeah. But because Terminator 2 released in 1991, I think I watched the movie during 1999, if not mistaken.
Wow, you still remember?
Yeah. When I in primary 6, if not mistaken, because it released in TV3, if not mistaken. Yeah, when I was young, and then when I was a kid, and then my father also liked to watch movies, so I just watched with him. Yeah. And then throughout the years, I keep on rewatching.
What do you think of the movie after Terminator 2? So Terminator 3.
The Terminator 3 is just so only. And then the rest is garbage. Especially the Terminator Genesis, if not mistaken. Yeah, Genesis, I think is the worst Terminator movie.
I think they try to revive back the series, but it doesn't work. That's why I appreciate Jurassic World also, because other franchise fail, but they managed to hang on.
No, I think Jurassic World, I mean, compared to after Terminator 2, I think Jurassic World really kept on the tone of the predecessor.
I remember watching Terminator 2. Based on the topic today, like Terminator 2 is, when you think of sequel, that is a sequel already.
Yes. Yeah, for me, I think it's one of the best action movie ever made.
Yeah, and the cast is so good.
Yes, the cast, spot on. Okay, so my second favorite sequel movie is The Dark Knight, directed by Christopher Nolan. So after the amazing Batman Begins, okay, a lot of people were expecting another sequel. That's for sure, because of the ending of the first movie, the Batman Begins. The ending is kind of teased
of the next movie.
Of the next movie, of the next villain, which is the Joker. I can say that in The Dark Knight, Christopher Nolan really knocked out of the park this time. So the first time I watched it in cinema, when I left the cinema, right, I was speechless, Okay, first thing first, the stakes are high with this one, and then every characters in the movie are great, and the story around them fits their character perfectly. No doubt the story is even darker this time, and it really inject a lot of sociology. And then if you watch it a few times, okay, right until now, it's still you can see that the movie are still relevant until today. And of course, the performance from all the actors, and especially Heath Ledger as a Joker, it was mind-blowing.
A lot of people was doubtful whether he can play that role or not at first.
Yeah, at first when they casting the Heath Ledger as a Joker, everyone is like, what? What is happening?
But I think for Batman, everyone will doubt. No matter who is it. Even now with the new one, Robert Pattinson, a lot of people also doubt whether he can play it or not.
I also kind of doubt he can nail the character well.
For the Dark Knight, I think the cast is really good.
Yes.
There's Gary Oldman also.
Yes, the Gary Oldman. Oh, because I think Gary Oldman is quite a great actor, because he usually play a villains in a lot of movies. Yeah, and then when Christopher Nolan asked him to play as a Gordon, he kind of like, whether is this suit my character? He kind of doubt it, but eventually he play as a Commissioner Gordon, and which is great. Yeah, I think the best part of the movie also is the face off between the Batman and the Joker in the interrogation room. You still remember that?
Oh yeah.
That's
one of the. I think a lot. When I watch that scene, it feels really tense.
Yes, I think it's one of the most iconic scenes in the history of cinema, in my opinion.
I think that is the first time that we see in a live action movie between Batman and Joker, like getting really serious.
Yes.
the Tim Burton one was it Tim Burton?
Yes,
the Tim Burton one was more of a comical.
Yeah, the comical way of Batman.
It's good also, but
yes, it's good. It is good.
It's different. It feels different.
Yes.
Yeah, different style.
Yeah, because I think the Christopher Nolan version of Batman is kind of like they went into the more realistic side of the character, of the world building also. Yeah. It's like what happened if in real life there is a Batman, how he would be in real life as a Batman. Yeah. Yeah.
The whole Christopher Nolan series actually it proved to people that you can make a serious comic book story.
By far, no other superhero movie can top this series, I think, in my opinion.
Okay.
Because I personally like the dark tone of the Batman universe.
Yeah.
And then even the Zack Snyder Batman vs Superman, it kind of nailed the dark tone, but the story can't even top this.
Yeah.
Because this one is so well written, that. And then fun fact, I tell you one thing. It's a fun fact. You know that The Dark Knight is the second superhero movies that is preserved in the National Film Registry of the Library of Congress.
What does it mean?
It's like a library of films which is culturally
significant.
Culturally significant, yes. Yeah, the first superhero movie that in the National Film Registry, I think, is Superman. Yeah, the first Superman, 1978. Yeah.
Not that poor.
Which is quite nice.
Yeah. Okay.
Alright. My third favorite sequels is Godfather Part II.
Nice.
Yes, released in 1974.
Nice.
Yeah. So Godfather Part II is actually a prequel and a sequel of the first movie.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first part of the Godfather Part II is talk about the Vito Corleone. So the actor who act as Vito is Robert De Niro. And Robert De Niro, what a legend. his acting in that movie was pitch perfect. You know that. The first time I watched it, I was like, I'm so invested in his character. You know. And then after that, it transitioned to the sequels. And it's talk about the Michael, the younger son of the son of the Vito, who act by Al Pacino, and then his acting also, masterpiece.
One of the best. He's one of his best.
One of the best actor in the history of cinema also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Godfather series is cinema already.
Yes,
you
is cinema.
You cannot replicate it anymore.
Yeah. And then although the movie is quite long, I think it's around 3 hours. So the whole movie. Yeah. I still remember the first time I watched it, I was so invested in that, in the whole story.
Yeah, me too.
Because it's so very well written.
The first Godfather was the perfect movie in my opinion.
Oh, okay. But I think for me, in my opinion, the Part 2, Godfather Part 2 is the best so far. The best. And then no other gangster movies can top this.
Because it's not just a gangster movie.
Yeah, it's talk about politics also. It's talk about the family.
Yeah.
Also. You know, the gangster part is just the icing of the cake actually.
Yeah. Nicely said.
Right until now, I still want to watch it over and over and over again.
You know, this year is the 50th anniversary of the Godfather franchise.
Okay.
They are doing something. I didn't really read on the news, but they will re-release it, maybe better quality. So we can watch it again after they release it.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Godfather Part 2 is also selected in preservation in the National Film Registry. It shows that this movie is so influential until now. You know that. I mean, in terms of filmmaking, the storytelling, and everything about acting also, just great.
The character Michael is very interesting. His life story is very interesting.
Yeah.
It feel very real also.
Yes. although the Part 3, a lot of people say that it's unnecessary, but I still think that it is quite a good movies also. I mean the Part 3, because it's kind of like a big circles, you know, the whole story being told. I think as a package, it's great. It's great.
Yeah.
But in movie standpoint, of course, the Part 2 is the best.
In Part 3, we can see older Michael, the Michael Corleone. I mean, we deserve a view of his future also. So the Godfather 3 is quite important sequel also.
Yep. So this is the 3 of my favorite sequel movie, and now we move on to the bad sequel movies.
Yeah, bad. Maybe we make this a quick one.
Yeah.
Because I'm excited with the next topic also.
Yeah.
So why don't I go first?
Yeah, sure, for sure.
My first bad sequel movie is Pacific Rim Uprising, 2018. So after the first great movie, Pacific Rim 1, that was given to us by Guillermo del Toro, the first Pacific Rim movie, which was very good in my opinion, from Guillermo del Toro, they decided to do Pacific Rim Uprising, and I was quite excited for the sequel actually. But then I found out that Guillermo del Toro is not directing this movie. And then I saw the trailer, which was completely different from the first movie. It looks the same, but the feel is totally different. It was more brighter, and then the Jaegers, the robots, they move quicker and they're faster, and they can jump.
Yeah.
In the first movie, they're very slow, When they
Yeah,
punch, they
bulky.
need time to set up. But this one, it was like watching Ultraman, you know.
I think most of the part also, one of the factor that affect this movie also is the color palette.
Yeah, everything
color
about
palette
this movie is, I don't like it at all.
Me too. I also don't like
maybe
it.
I was, maybe that's not true. I like the kaiju design. The robot designs are good also, but
Yes.
I was very disappointed because the first movie we learn a lot actually. We learn the world is quite interesting, to be honest. How they build their Jaegers and where these kaijus come from.
Yes, correct.
Is the world is very interesting. So with the second movie, I was expecting we can learn more about the kaijus. I don't mind if they want to do a dumb fun movie, but the first one was dumb and fun, but we learned so much things from it. The world is actually interesting, but the second one, they didn't expand it at all. They just add more monster. The monster got bigger, but we don't know why. They didn't expand anything at all, and then suddenly the kaijus have, I don't want to spoil, but the kaiju have abilities that is not in the first movie, that they did in the second movie, that's very crazy. And then we don't know who's the real villain. Is it the aliens or is it the humans?
Yeah.
And John Boyega is in this movie also, but he tries to his best in this movie, but I don't think I just hate it. I hope they don't make. Oh, the interesting thing about Pacific Rim is Netflix had an animated series.
Oh, is it? Yeah, I think I heard that also.
Which I think is much better than Uprising. So that's all I have to say about Pacific Rim.
Okay. I also hate it.
Yeah, so my next choice, this one will be even shorter. My next choice is Independence Day Resurgence, 2016.
Yes.
I watched it once and I never want to watch it anymore.
Same here.
I love the first Independence Day. The first Independence Day was released in 96. I think that was, it's also a dumb fun movie actually, but it was really fun. The stakes are quite high because the people in the movie, they are going against an alien that have technologies far more advanced than the people during that time. And you can see how they with human, with their knowledge at that time, how they challenge the aliens and fight them back.
Yes.
But in Resurgence we get none of that. In Resurgence, because it's a sequel, the technology is, I can say is like on the same level as the aliens. So when Resurgence happen, you cannot feel the difference in power level. You can feel it's just the same.
Yes.
Where, okay, I punch you and you got injured, and then you punch me and I got injured. And then we see who punched the most.
I still remember I watched it in cinema. I was like, oh my god, it's wasting my time, man.
This is the kind of movie that is action without substance.
Yes, correct. I think the biggest mistake in this movie is that the scale is too big already.
True.
When the scale is so big, right, your character development must be very, very good. Because you are telling a story based on these few characters. So if you want to make it so big, right, first of all your character must be written very, very good. If not, we don't care about the character at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah. My third pick is Star Wars: The Last Jedi, Episode 8, released in 2017.
Is it the last Star Wars movie?
No, it's the second to last. It's the Episode 8. So the last one was Episode 9.
Because I didn't see the last one, so
Really?
yeah, I didn't see the last one.
So that's why the number 8 made you not feel like watching number 9.
Yeah, it's kind of.
It's really I think a lot of fans will say that The Last Jedi just took a massive shit on the fans and the franchise. So The Last Jedi was directed by Rian Johnson. Rian Johnson is not a bad director, but I don't think he is suitable for the Star Wars franchise. When The Force Awakens was released, it wasn't really that good, but it set a ground for potential stories in the future. But Rian Johnson, when he took over, I think he just didn't care The Force Awakens was trying to show. He didn't really care of J.J. Abrams' vision also. So he's not interested in Jedi versus the Sith. He wasn't interested in the Skywalkers. He just said, okay, the Jedi and Sith should just die. The Skywalkers should just be not important. And then he just made a mess of the movie.
I think the last Jedi, right? I think it's kind of divert the lore of the.
It divert a lot.
Yeah, the lore of the whole Star Wars franchise. You know, when I first saw it, I'm not hate it, just that I feel mixed. You know?
I feel mixed also. The first time I watched it, I felt this is interesting, but the more I think about it, the more I feel it's
wrong.
It feels wrong. Rian Johnson, I blame him for the most part, but a big factor is because of Carrie Fisher's death also, which it really affect how they going to continue the story. But at the end of the day, I think it still goes to the vision, how they plan the story. And I think The Last Jedi was a story that has a okay plan already, but he didn't like that plan and he just make another plan. and the next movie after The Last Jedi, I think the director had a very hard time to continue it. Yeah, so that's all I have to say about that.
But I heard the last Star Wars movie also quite bad, right?
It's really, really bad.
Serious,
Yeah, we can make an episode just talking about how bad is it.
Oh, okay, sure. Stay tuned, guys.
Okay, so my part is done.
Okay, so my first pick of the bad sequels is Cars 2, released in 2011. So in Cars 1, right, I feel like the whole movie is quite nice, you know, but I think it doesn't need a sequel. So when I watch the sequel, right, it's kind of changing the tone of the movie. It's from racing movies to the detective kind of movies with cars. Just imagine that. It's like and the whole story is kind of like out of logic, and then the writing also quite bad. The story, the pacing. When I watched it, I was quite surprised because Pixar never released a bad movie also, and then Cars 2 are the first bad movie that Pixar released.
I didn't watch it actually.
No, you didn't watch it. So
I know it has something to do like a James Bond style kind of story.
Yeah, it's kind of like James Bond style of movies, but I don't think it worked here. And then in the end, the cars can fly also. I mean, what is happening? I'm serious. I was like, the first time I watched it, I was so disappointed. and then due to the bad reviews from Cars 2, right? And then Pixar released Cars 3,
which is good.
And then Cars, which is good. I think Cars 3 is like a sincere apologize of the bad Cars 2, you know that. For me, in my opinion. So I think Cars 2 is a bad sequel. So my second pick is Transformer: The Last Night, directed by Michael Bay. I still remember the first time I watched this movie in the cinema. I was speechless, you know that. The first part of the movie is like the King Arthur fight against the...
I don't even know actually. I don't even know what's the story.
I also kind of forget already.
But they want to make it. They make the story in a way that the Transformer exists during the medieval time.
Yes.
Which contradict all the movies before it.
Yeah. It's kind of disappointed because I personally like Michael Bay's movie. I mean his previous pre-Transformer movies, and then after the Transformers movie, some of it I quite like it. For example, like the 13 Hours, Pain and Gain, you know, Bad Boys 2 also I kind of like it because his action is quite good, you know. And then when he directed the Transformers movies, especially after the third one, so after the Transformers 3, I feel like he doesn't have the passion to do Transformers movie anymore.
I love Transformers actually. So
yeah, I like the first one, you know. I personally like the action, of course, the whole Transformers franchise. Just that the story is getting more ridiculous.
I can tell you, as a Transformers toy collector, that a lot of people love the Megatron design in The Last Night. The Last Night, yes. They love that design.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the only good thing about that movie.
Okay.
Yeah. So okay.
Right. So my third pick of the bad sequel is Son of the Mask. I forgot which year they released because it's a forgettable movie. I know. I still remember the first time I watched it. I was like, okay, this movie is wasting my time. You still remember the first one? The first one acted by the Jim Carrey. Yeah, that was funny as hell, man. There was very good movies. Very great. It's a great comedy movies, you know. And then the second one is talk about the son of the Jim Carrey, if not mistaken. And then the Jim Carrey not even in the movie also. And then
I didn't watch that movie.
Oh, I just watched it one time. That's it. I don't want to watch it again. So I kind of forget the whole story thing, but I still know after I watch it, I'm very very disappointed. Yeah, because that movie is not funny at all. I just watched it and then I was like,
okay,
oh
I'm
God.
done.
I'm done. That's it.
Okay.
Go and watch it if you want.
No.
Then you know how I feel. Alright, that's it for my 3 picks of the bad sequel movies.
Yeah, I'm interested in our next topic, which is which movies which have not yet had a sequel deserves a sequel. So we each pick 3 movies or so, and I will go first. So my first movie is District 9, which I think is everyone's choice for this topic because
including me.
Yeah, District 9 was a very very good movie. I think we watched it together also the first time.
Yeah, I think yes,
right?
Yes. Yeah.
I think we watched it with a good friend of ours, and like 3 of us was like, wow, this movie is the best.
Yep. At first I was like, oh, am I watching a documentary?
Oh yeah, the way that they film it is very interesting also.
Yes,
and then it was filmed in South Africa, which is an area which was not popular we don't really see in movies a lot.
Yes.
But the director himself is South African,
Yeah.
so his movies are mostly in South Africa also. And the graphics was very good also.
Yeah. I was quite surprised
Even
also.
now, when you watch it back right now, it's still very good.
Yeah.
And why I choose this is because the ending of District 9, I don't want to say the ending, but the ending of District 9 gave a very, very big promise to one of the characters that they will meet again. And then we as the viewers were, I think, for those who watch also were very excited for what will happen next. But it's been so many years now. It's 2022 and there's no news of it. And then the director is also not the kind of person that will direct sequels. After District 9, I think his next movie was Chappie. Oh no, not Chappie.
No, Elysium.
Which,
If I'm not mistaken.
yeah. And then he made another movie and another movie. I don't think he really cares about making sequels, so it's quite sad. So I move on to my second choice, which is Warcraft, the movie, 2016. We are very big gamers, and I love Warcraft a lot.
You mean the movies?
The game.
Oh, the game.
Even though I don't play
Me
World
too.
of Warcraft, but I know the story, and me and my friends were very excited when this movie was released. And the movie is not perfect. It have its problems, and also one of the issue with this movie that I can say is made for the fans, purely
it's
for the
meant
fans.
Yes.
The reason why I say that is because there are too many characters introduced, and since Warcraft itself is a very big world, there's a lot of deep history also in the place and the characters also, and I think they try to
Cram it into one
cram it
movies.
into one. A lot of names that we hear, for us we will understand, but for people who don't know anything, they will have a hard time catching up.
Correct.
And the sad thing is that this movie actually made a lot of money in the domestic market, which is the US market. It didn't really make that much money, but as in the worldwide box office, especially in China, it earns so much. I think it earns double or triple the budget of this movie.
Oh, okay.
which actually, with that profit you can make a sequel, but I don't think Legendary Studios and Blizzard, they weren't interested to make a sequel anymore, so that's quite disappointing also.
I think maybe they are based on their popularity of the current movie goers.
Yeah,
I think so.
the reviews were very bad also.
Too bad.
Yeah,
Too bad. Because I kind of like the movie also.
I kind of like it also.
I also kind of like it.
Kind of, but not.
Not all.
Yeah.
Because it has a massive problem.
Yeah. So I move on to my third choice, which is Brightburn. So first of all, have you watched this movie?
I think I didn't watch it before.
Okay, so Brightburn, for those who haven't watched, let me tell you what Brightburn is about, and then you tell me whether it sounds familiar or not. So Brightburn is about a boy who appear in a farmlands all of a sudden. So a couple discover this boy in their farm and raise this boy. So they discover that this boy have powers,
Superman.
very strong abilities. Yeah.
Oh, is it the Superman I mean, the origin of Superman?
No, it's not the origin of Superman.
Oh, no.
So this movie is considered a passion project from the Gunn brothers, which is James Gunn and his brothers.
Oh, okay.
They wanted to make this movie, which actually is just it's a Superman copy paste only, but it's rated R. In Superman, where Clark Kent wants to be good, in Brightburn, the boy just wants to be bad.
Oh, okay, interesting.
He don't care at all if someone bullies him. Sayonara to that guy. And he doesn't like his parents. He hates his mother, his adopted mother, and a lot of bad things happen. It's actually not for children because it's rated R, so it's not for children. It's very dark also, and this movie also hinted in for possible future stories, but nothing happened after that. Which is quite sad because I like this movie actually. It's not perfect, but it's a very interesting concept.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah.
I'm kind of interested.
Yeah. You should watch it.
I'm going to watch it.
Yeah. Okay, so that's my 3 picks.
So my first pick of the movie that deserves a sequel, the first one, is Hitchhiker Guide to the Galaxy in 2005. Okay, this movie is based on the novel series, which I read last year, if not mistaken. Is it last year or last 2 years? I read the whole the series of the Hitchhiker Guide to the Galaxy, and the movies actually is quite good. The movie is quite
accurate, is it?
It's quite faithful to the source material, and it's too bad that they didn't do the sequel of the series also. Yeah, because the second series, if not mistaken, is called The Restaurant at the End of the Universe. Yeah, the whole series, right? The Hitchhiker Guide to the Galaxy series, the title of all the trilogy or quadrilogy. The title is very, very interesting, and it all stands a meaning in the whole story. So it's too bad that they didn't do the sequel, because the sequel is much, much more interesting. If you read the book, it just blow your mind away.
I didn't watch the movie actually.
Oh, you have to watch it because it's very, very interesting. It's something that you never seen it before in science fiction. Yeah, it's kind of like a comedy science fiction. Yeah. And then the storytelling is quite dark also. If you catch it, if you think of it, it's quite dark. And that's what I love about the story, the novel, and the movies also. Yeah. So my second pick is Dredd 2012. So Dredd is rated R, and then because it's kind of like a remake because it's kind of like a remake, and then the first time I watched it, I like it a lot because the actor Carl Urban, who act as a Dredd, he doesn't show his face also. I think that's the charm of the whole movies. And then the violence in the movie, it makes sense. The whole story also quite makes sense. It's quite intense, and the whole pacing, a lot of the writing also very good, and I think it deserves a sequel, and I'm waiting for it, because I wanted more. Yeah, and actually it's quite a good movie,
Yeah, I watched it. I like it also.
Yeah,
and it's quite a low budget movie.
Yeah, kind of low budget.
I did some research, and this movie's budget was lower than the first movie.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay,
much more lower. And they didn't earn. They didn't earn.
Yeah, too bad they didn't earn. I think they didn't earn back the budget, right?
Yeah.
Too bad. Because it's a good movie lah.
I quite like it also.
Yeah, I also. Okay, so my third pick is Constantine 2005, directed by Francis Lawrence. So the first time I watched the Constantine, act by the Keanu Reeves. I was like, oh damn, this movie is so cool, man.
I actually I consider I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, I haven't watched it. Okay.
I watched it
But
when a very long time ago, but I don't get it at that time, and I never touch it again after that.
oh,
Yeah.
because I rewatched it a few times, and I find it actually is quite good.
Well, because Constantine is based on a comic, and I didn't know that.
Oh,
And I actually, when I watch it, it feels so weird to me, and then I just didn't think so much about the movie already. But I understand a lot of people like that movie, so maybe I'll give it another try.
Because the first time I watched it, I am not sure what they are talking about. Just that I really invested in the visual standpoint, because it has a lot of cool visual effects. And then when I rewatch it and then try to learn about the story, it's kind of interesting also. Yeah. And then as a character, the Keanu Reeves character as Constantine, you can see he has a lot of layers in his character, and then it slowly peel off the character, and then in the end of the movie you know, okay, he is this kind of person, and then he's trying to do good, you know. Yeah. And then I still feel that the world building is not fully realized yet, so I think for me, in my opinion, it deserves a sequel. Yeah.
I think there were discussion also whether DC want to make a sequel also.
Yeah.
I hope they do.
Yeah, I hope too.
That character is quite interesting.
Yeah. And then Keanu Reeves must act in it. since he is so famous right now, so
Yeah.
come on, make a sequel out of it. But of course, make a good one.
Yeah.
So that's it for the 3 movies that deserve a sequel.
Yeah, that's our episode for today. We did it.
Yes.
I hope you guys enjoy this video. I hope you guys find this video entertaining and interesting.
Yeah.
I had fun.
Me too.
Yeah, let us know what are your favorite movie sequels, because there's a lot. This topic is actually quite broad.
Yes. Actually, I have a lot of good sequels in mind, but the bad one not so many, because sometimes
I took my time thinking about which movie I want to talk about actually.
Yes, I also, me too. I got list down a lot, and then I feel like, wow, there's so
too many
good. Yeah, there's too many good sequels.
Yeah, so let us know what you guys think, or maybe you have an opinion on what we should talk about next. So if you want to see more, let us know, and support us, like this video, and consider subscribing. Okay, so we see you guys again soon. Bye.
Bye.